They were high-ranking German officers, patriotic, disciplined, loyal to the military oath, until they decided Adolf Hitler had to die. This isn't fiction, it's the true story of the July 20th plot, a bold, almost successful attempt to assassinate Hitler and take down the Nazi regime from the inside. Codenamed Operation Valkyrie, it was a plan soaked in danger, betrayal, and desperation. These were not Allied spies, these were Hitler's own men. And for a brief moment, they almost changed the course of history. By 1944, Germany was collapsing. The Allies had landed in Normandy. The Soviets were advancing from the east. German cities were being flattened by air raids, and Hitler, increasingly paranoid and irrational, refused to negotiate or retreat. Inside the German high command, many officers realized the war was lost, but speaking against Hitler was treason. Planning to kill him? Suicide. Still, a secret group formed, generals, colonels, and politicians who believed Germany could only survive if Hitler died. Their motive wasn't just military defeat, it was moral collapse. They'd seen the SS camps, the executions, the racial laws, the cruelty. This wasn't just about saving Germany, it was about saving its soul. The name at the center of the plot, Claus von Stauffenberg, an aristocrat, a war hero, and, crucially, a man who had once admired Hitler. But the war changed him. In 1943, Stauffenberg was severely wounded in North Africa. He lost his right hand, 2 fingers on his left, and his left eye. Despite his injuries, he returned to duty, not to fight on the front, but to fight inside the heart of the regime. He joined the resistance and became the man tasked with killing Hitler. Why him? Because he had access, because he had courage, because he was willing to die trying. Here's where the genius and danger of the plan began. Operation Valkyrie was originally a real Nazi emergency protocol. If there was chaos in Berlin, the reserve army would take control. Stauffenberg and the conspirators planned to exploit it. Kill Hitler, blame it on SS traitors, activate Valkyrie, use reserve army troops to arrest Nazi leaders before they knew the truth. They even had forged orders, fake broadcasts, and generals ready to act the moment Hitler was confirmed dead. It was not just an assassination, it was a full coup d'etat. On July 20th, 1944, Stauffenberg entered the Wolf's Lair, Hitler's Eastern Front headquarters in Poland, carrying a briefcase loaded with explosives. Inside the war room were top Nazi generals and Hitler himself. Stauffenberg placed the briefcase near Hitler and quietly stepped out, pretending to take a phone call. Minutes later, boom. The blast tore through the conference room. Chaos erupted. Stauffenberg, watching from afar, was convinced Hitler was dead. He raced to Berlin to initiate the coup. But he was wrong. The bomb did explode, but a few critical things ruined the plan. The meeting had been moved to a wooden hut instead of the usual bunker. A general unknowingly moved the briefcase behind a thick table leg. Hitler was injured but alive. Worse, the delay in confirming Hitler's death meant hours were lost. In Berlin, confusion reigned. Some units began arresting SS officers, others hesitated. By nightfall, Hitler appeared alive on radio, vowing vengeance. The coup unraveled instantly. Stauffenberg and other conspirators were arrested, tortured, and executed, some that very night, others over the coming weeks in horrifying public trials. Over 7,000 people were arrested. Around 200 were executed, many hanged with piano wire, slow and brutal, as Hitler watched footage in twisted satisfaction. Hitler was shaken, but not humbled. He saw the plot not as a wake-up call, but as justification for further purges. He tightened his grip, he trusted no one, and the SS hunted down anyone remotely connected to the conspiracy. But something had changed. The illusion of unity was shattered. Even Hitler's own officers had turned against him. The myth of invincibility was gone. Operation Valkyrie failed, but its legacy did not. Claus von Stauffenberg and his fellow conspirators are now honored in Germany as heroes, symbols of conscience, courage, and sacrifice. Each year on July 20th, German leaders lay wreaths where Stauffenberg was executed. A memorial now stands at the Bendler block, the site of the failed coup, with words etched in stone. You did not bear the shame. You resisted. You gave the great forever silent cry of courage. These were the men who dared to kill a tyrant. and for a few hours they came so close. Follow Time Chronicles to honor more forgotten heroes and untold stories from the past.